Hello guys, welcome back to another build video guide. Today I decided to showcase you a dual wield build that isn't talked about that much on YouTube and that I think is pretty underrated. Um, in my opinion, it's not as strong as the first build that I showed you with the Bloodthirsty Fiend set, but it definitely has some good things going for it, which I will first go over and then I will showcase you on the boss. And yeah, so let's start off. Um, what is different? It's the Ozma's dual wield build, so it's the Master of Chaos set. And what's different about this is that we learn three skills, and one is Blade Storm, one is Phantom Shadow Sword Dance, and the other one is Phantom Bloody Sword Dance. Just so that you get an idea from it, if we open the skill tree, we see Bloody Sword Dance, this is Shadow Sword Dance, and this is Blade Storm. And I want to quickly talk about these three skills specifically because these are the main reason why you should or could go this build. So, what does Bloody Sword Dance? It's basically it enhances the skill of Sword Dance, and you have more of a chance to summon more phantoms. And so this skill also is part of the Bloodthirsty Fiend set. So it's not really new to you, I think. But what is new is this Shadow Sword Dance. And what this does is when you bring guard while the buff is active, the Phantom appears and deals damage back to the enemy. So ideally with this build, you should be playing it around brink guarding it. So if you're good at brink guarding, this build could be very interesting for you. And also the skill can also get triggered when you get hit and don't perfectly brink guard it, as it's written on the bottom. So this is more of a brink guard centered build. And yeah, these are the two skills that are related to the sword dance, the phantom sword dance that is a buff. And the other new skill is Blade Storm. What Blade Storm does is you fly into the air and then your phantoms follow down with a pretty big AoE explosion on the ground. And it does decent damage. And it's a pretty cool skill in my opinion. It looks very cool, and the whole set is pretty cool. That's why I want to make a video on it. If we go now to the gear and check out what fixed attributes we have and also what set bonuses we have, is one of the most or one good bonus is the chaos resistance one, because it's in this game chaos damage is the most most common elemental damage type that we get, and all the big bosses mostly deal chaos damage, and chaos is a very how should I say it, is a very hard element, because your health gets decreased, and then when you take hits it gets decreased even further, so having chaos resistance is very good. And then we see that we get, for Phantom Sword Dance, we get more stamina damage, so our Phantom deals more stamina damage and more damage. And when an enemy exhausted, the 5-piece bonus is also very good, and it gives us 20% more damage whenever an enemy is exhausted, which is a lot actually. So yeah, these are the set bonuses that we get. As we see, fixed attributes, I already spoke about this in this weapon. And of course the jar is for me a no-brainer, because it allows you to choose 2 rings and have a 3-piece bonus where it normally wouldn't be possible, so I think it's worth it to go for the jar. For the wings, we see that we get more fury accumulation, more swift attack, stamina damage increase here. Here we get again more swift attack damage and more phantom sword dance damage. So this whole build is centered around swift attacking, brink guarding, and buffing the bloody sword dance the Phantom Sword and sorry, skill even further. That's why this build I think is also very solid, and especially if you like brink guarding, I think it's a good build. For the rings this time, I went with the unending tragedy ring and necklace, so that we get more composed damage and more stamina recovery rate, up to 20 stacks when attacking. That's great because if we are going for more composed damage, it makes sense to also have more stamina recovery active. Of course, you could, if you want to have something else, you could either switch out the ring or the necklace for something else. If you prefer to go for more damage instead of more stamina recovery, I just stick to this, but it's up to you, of course. For the stats, we can see on the right, I'm still going with 99 willpower, 99 strength, and 99 endurance, and pump the rest of our points into vitality. We don't need proficiency at all because the weapon doesn't scale with proficiency. Although you could, technically, if you don't want to have as much vitality, you could also skill some points into proficiency so that you get more stamina damage. Because in case you didn't know, if we go here, pumping proficiency increases stamina damage, as you see. So stamina damage increase, but it wouldn't really, our weapon doesn't scale with it. So I chose to go for vitality for more survivability, but it's up to you, of course. For the Phantom, now there are a few Phantoms that make sense in my opinion. This one I think makes probably the most sense because it's the Phantom that buffs brink guarding the most. So I think this one makes a lot of sense. But you could also go for Conrad if you prefer to still dodge more. I just think it doesn't make sense to go with this build, so therefore I would choose Maximilian. Another Phantom that also would make sense is Wulfric, because we are mostly frontal attacking the enemy, so this frontal assault damage increase also makes sense, and yeah, that we get more fury of when perfect countering and when brutal attacking an exhausting enemy. I still think this one is better because of the 2 awakened buffs that it gives you. So you restore stamina when you brink guard. So this build revolves around brink guarding, so I think this makes more sense. And also you get up to 5 stacks when brink guarding, and we increase our stamina damage with it. So that's also great, especially if we keep in mind that in the set bonus that we have, I show you again, we deal more damage to exhausted enemies. So if we deal more stamina damage, like this Phantom shows, if you brink guard 5 times perfectly, you increase your stamina damage. So it's this, I think this Phantom makes the most sense with this set. Alright guys, but I think enough talking. I think you want to see a showcase of the build, and that's what I'm going to do.
Khazan, なぜ私と戦おうとするのだ。真の敵は人間どもだというのだ。オズマ、自分の姿を見てみろ。なぜそんなことになってしまったんだ。 作った世界なのだ。それを破壊する権利もまた私たちにあるのではないか。
Alright, it was not my cleanest run, not gonna lie. So I failed a bit with the brink guards, but I think you get the idea of it. Every time we brink guard, the phantom hits the enemy back, basically. And yeah, I enjoy this set. I think it's a decent set. It may not be as strong as the Bloodthirsty Fiend, but it's a different kind of playstyle, and I think it, if you're good at brink dodging, not at brink dodging, sorry, at brink guarding, it might be the set for you. And also it looks really cool. Now I have the skin equipped, but let me show you without skin. So if I go down here and take it off, undo, 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 undo. Okay, maybe the head we will take the original Ozma's horn. So this is actually the Ozma set. And yeah, let me know what you think, if you like this guide or build video, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to tell me in the comments. And I appreciate you guys supporting me, and on to the next one. Bye bye.